Welcome to Wellness Wednesday, where today we're going to be talking about osteoporosis and some simple things that you can do to improve your bone density as you head forward and get older. If you are loving our videos, please like, subscribe. It's always great to know that we are making a difference, and the algorithms do help. If you can click on that like button, it does help us a lot. So if you can do that, that'd be great. Okay, so I want to talk about osteoporosis today. So there is a big misnomer that calcium deficiencies are the biggest cause of osteoporosis, when they are actually not all that common. So there's a whole lot of different things that can affect our bone density. And probably the biggest one is that we tend to chew up bone quicker than we lay bone down. And we have two types of cells that do this. So the osteoblasts are always eating bone like a Pac-Man, and the osteoclasts are builders, and they're always laying new bone down. And this is how we keep bone turnover going and keep our bones nice and healthy. If we start having more osteoclasts though, then we have osteoblasts, Pac-Man starts winning, and we start losing in terms of our bone density. And there are a couple of blood tests you can get done now that do test for those osteoblasts and class activity, which you can get through your GP. So if you want to know what they are, just message me and or post them up below, and I'll help you out with those. But here's a few things that you can do, because what we do understand is that osteoclast and osteoblast activity is strongly regulated by a few things, such as insulin function, hormonal function, stress. There's a whole lot of these type of things that do drive them. So here's a few things that I think you can do to start with, which will work really, really well to help you with your bone density. Number one, move away from the standard Western world diet. So the standard Western world diet, which is number one, is high carbohydrate, low fat, high GI foods, lots of insulin resistance. So that insulin resistance is going to stimulate those osteoclast activity and start breaking bone down. So let's shift towards a low GI, high fat, low carbohydrate diet in order to try and get this bone density under control. Second one we need to do is, if you don't stimulate the bone, there is no reason for it to grow and develop. So we need to stress bone out at a mild level. Not talking about breaking bones, but at a very mild level. Stress it on a regular basis. And the easiest way to do that is through weight-bearing exercise. So let's get up on our feet and start doing some weight-bearing exercise. Play a sport, go for a run, whatever it is that you need to do. Get the stress through the bone so that it grows. We start moving away from that, then we look at some basic things that are really required for bone structure. A couple of them right at the top there is vitamin D. That's the big one, our third one. Vitamin D is the key. And you might be low in vitamin D. Ideally, we love to see vitamin D levels in the 80s to 90s. Some people are well below that in the 40s. Vitamin D3, which you get from your supplements, needs to be converted to the usable form of vitamin D known as colifidyl. And that form of vitamin D only happens and only gets changed if you have good, healthy liver function, which a lot of people don't have if you have insulin resistance and metabolic syndrome or type 2 diabetes. So taking colifidyl, which is actually a form of vitamin D that you can now get, which is water soluble and bypasses liver function, is a great way of increasing vitamin D levels very, very quickly, especially if you can't get them up using D3. And the other one that goes with that is vitamin K2, which is our number 4 thing. So vitamin K is also really important at pushing calcium into bone along with magnesium. So there's a couple of key things that we can use as well. There is an awesome herb that not many people are aware of that works really well with this as well. A herb by the name of glossy privet. And glossy privet is full of what we call polyphenols that helps with kidney function. But the other thing it also does is it helps activate the vitamin D receptor. And when you activate the vitamin D receptor, it does help vitamin D be more effective at stimulating bone development. And there is some evidence, even though early on, there is some evidence out there that taking taking glossy privet can help increase bone density. So there's one to look at as well. And the final one I'll talk about is a collagen peptide, which has recently been produced, known as 40 Bone. So 40 Bone is a peptide. It's like a collagen powder that you can take, which has also been shown to lay calcium down into bone, increase bone density quite effectively as well when taken over a long period of time. There are a whole lot of other little things you can do. So get your hormones right, get estrogen under control, progesterone, testosterone, all these type of things, reduce your stress, heaps of different things you can do. Please don't think that you just taking calcium supplements is going to solve the problem. It won't. We need to make sure that we have a good framework, identify the issue that's driving your osteoporosis, whether it be the lack of exercise, whether it be the vitamin D function, K deficiencies, all these type of things, what they are, insulin resistance, and get on top of them. And that's the way that you're going to get your bone density under control and curtail that slope downwards as we get older. Anyway, guys, if you have any questions, please post them up below, or feel free to message me directly if you're not comfortable with that. I'm Trevor Jacuti from Spinewise, and we'll catch you next vid. Bye for now.